Hi folks, I'm back with some more 430 gameplay. Today we are on Ghost Town, and I'm just, these aren't excellent games. I just wanted to show, Flea asked me to show him some gameplay in the 430. Now I noticed that there are no lights on either team, and so I'm just going to play this how I need to get some damage basically, and we do want to fire on that standard B, and that will get us lit, but that's okay because we can drop back. There's no arty, and we're relatively safe. Hold down, we are fairly safe from almost everything. So we're picking up some spots, and you can pick spots up in town if they head that direction. And we do take a hit, but we hit the Pantera. So, not every game is going to be like the game that I showed you on Himmelsdorf, Flea. You use your armor when you have to, but when you don't have to, play it like a normal tank. In some cases, it's worth going after that assist damage. It's worth just creating vision for your team. And that's what we're trying to do here. And it works out really quite well for us. We're up to 2,000 assist and 700 damage. So one thing to keep in mind, I'm a view range whore, and the reason I'm a view range whore is because my gun only fires every 8 seconds. But if I can light stuff up that's in the open for my team, they have 14 other guns, and I can get a lot more assist damage than I can standard damage. So we're just trying to keep this guy spotted just so he can't push. So he's chosen a bad line to go into the city, and we're punishing him for it. So we're up 2-0 right now, and again we're up to 2,300 assist, and we're 2.5 minutes into the game. So even though this isn't what I would call a stellar game, it is a good game, and it goes to show you that you don't always play this thing like a meat shield. So we're able to pick up one more shot on the IS-3. We're sure that's going to get us lit, and we back off. It's just standard light tank gameplay, but we're not playing in a light. Of course, we're playing in a heavily armored medium. So sooner or later we're going to decide to push, because there's a Pantera and a T-54 over on the other side, and that's it. Fortunately, our team has not been pushed by them, and our team is putting nice shots in to the enemies that are in the city. So that's working out great for us. I got spotted there, so I kind of came up in that bush to try and see what I could figure out, if I could figure out where I was being spotted from, but it's likely that I pulled back too far and someone up here spotted me. So this is the point at which I decide that we need to push this side, because the city, I don't know if the city's going to win. You never really know when they have a Type 4 and a T-95 in town, so we're better off to push where we know we can win. So this IS-3 after the game said, great job and good job knowing when to push, so, which I thought was awfully nice of him to say. So as you can see, we're not the fastest tank, but we're going to move forward, and we're going to try and bully the enemy here. Not a whole lot to say. I had a video card in my cart, and I should have bought the doggone thing, but I still haven't bought a new video card. It's not money, it's just, I don't know. It is sort of. I'm cheap. I don't like to spend money, but I do need a new video card. So we wait till we're reloaded to push on this T-54, and we're waiting for a good shot, and that's about as good as it's going to get, aiming down on the upper plate, and down goes the T-54, and I see there's a waffle here, and in just a second I decide I've got plenty of time before I get over there to load HE, and we've in the meantime spotted their WZ 120 GFT or whatever it's called. I see that the Waffle has fired, and we're gonna just bully this guy. So that's basically the game. There is a little more damage, and we'll just kind of go in 2 times because I waffle around a little bit. Waffle, get it? But anyway, I decided not to go up here, and the reason is there's very few hit points up here, and look how many guys there are, and I've got a decent game going. So, you know, between the IS-3 and the Scorpion G, they're going to kill that Scorpion fairly quickly. So I decided to go into town and go for this tank destroyer. We're able to hit him in the rear, and he's facing a T-95, so it's not like he can turn, but I force him out of position. And then don't do this, you guys, because I got stuck here for the remainder of the game. I couldn't get out because I couldn't push that tank, and I couldn't back up. So anyway, I was just talking to the team because I had nothing better to do. So that is the end of the game. We're going to do another replay for you just to kind of show, again, not a fantastic game. But, you know, we did, this game was actually, you know, by most people's standards, pretty good. We did 3,400, so we did, what's that, 6,300 combined. The next game isn't quite as good, but I want to show you what you can expect in this thing. So we'll be right back. Okay, here's the second game. I cut out the part where we moved up. No big deal. We have nothing middle, but there's 3 Arties on the enemy team, and for whatever reason, they decide not to focus me. Maybe there's somebody that has better win 8 than I do. I don't know. And that was a hope shot against the T-49. But again, we're mid-tier this time, and we are not pushing the action. And you don't generally push the action until near the end of the game, but Himmelsdorf was an unusual situation, Flea, because, and I wanted to show that exact situation because I wanted to show you how the armor can work. Against competent people, they are going to figure out they've got an overmatch, and you're going to end up getting owned. But in a lot of cases, teams aren't competent, people are scared to push. So that's kind of, this is just kind of typical gameplay that you'll see in this tank. Staying hull down, shooting at enemies that can't see you, and if you watch most Unicums, that's the way they play. They don't get spotted right away. And I'm just going to fast forward this because it's not super interesting gameplay, so we're going to go in 2 times mode here. Just so you get a flavor of the gameplay that I use for this tank. And you notice I backed off. I did back off the bushes when I fired at the middle, and that's by design, so I don't get spotted from the top. But we do win this game. There's a nice blind shot for you. It was almost not blind. He was driving straight away from us, but it's not, there's really no tank in the game that I just flat bully unless the matchmaking is just right, it's the right map. There's some situations, very few situations, though, where I just flat out bully the enemy. It just doesn't work. There's just too many gold rounds. There's too many guns in the game. At the end of the game, you can bully, but in the middle of the game, you really don't want to push and bully people because you'll have a competent player come up and flank you. On this map, it's less so because there's really not that much that no place to flank in a sense. So you notice we've got a 1390 up there, and so, I mean, just a little talk about the gameplay. we've got that 1390 spotting, so I know there's nothing on the tracks, and we're just trying to get hits into stuff. And I faff around a little bit down here, hoping that the tanks will come down, the M103 and whatnot. So I messaged this 1390 after the game. He did 3,000 damage and 3,000 spotting in a light tank. That's very, very good. I mean, on this map, that's quite good. So they clean that side up, and now is the time that you use your mobility, your armor, and try and get some kills. So I didn't get that kill because I didn't realize that the drive ramp was in the way. So, yeah, I hope this helps, Flea, and I hope it helps other people too, because, you know, a lot of my games you'll see me in the T-34-3 just flat bullying people, but that's because you've got super alpha for the tier, you've got a really good turret, and you're fairly maneuverable. And so what you don't see is the situations where I get into that situation and I get screwed because my team doesn't support, or the enemy realizes that I'm actually alone, or, you know, things like that. Or, you know, sometimes an autoloader will just charge me for no reason. So that's what you don't see. So this is a fairly common game. 3,000 combined, 3,400 combined, 2,800 damage, excuse me. And it's kind of representative of how to play the tank in normal games, because I just don't want you going out there and and trying to do what I did on that Himmelsdorf replay and going, this isn't working. Well, it only works on that map in that situation when your enemies don't push. So that was very specific, but I wanted to show you the capabilities of the armor more or less. I hope that helps. I'm not going to do end plates on these. There's really no reason. I think one was a first class, one was a third class. So we will finish this up, and we hope to see you on the next one.